righty. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to episode number 12 of the Spin Zone. And back in the house, as we have him every week, is Mr. Steve Rodriguez. Steve,
What
welcome
what's
back.
up, people? What's up? Hey, well, I'm back,
Wasn't
man.
it
How you doing?
wasn't it a great game this
It was an
past week?
awesome game. Awesome, awesome, awesome. With capital A. That even my daughter put on her press out jersey the following day and took it to school. No, we're not
Wow.
Cowboy haters.
Yep. Definitely the Cowboy haters were very, very disappointed. They thought we were going to lose this game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of
Mm-hmm.
course, there was a few mistakes here and there, primarily by
What,
Dak, but
what are you talking about?
a
What are
win
you talking about?
is a
Mistakes?
win.
Mistakes. What are you talking about? Again.
Oh,
We are on a high, all right? Hey, we are up here. We don't go down here, all right? So please just say that. When you're high, you don't go low. Or
that's right. That was a Michelle Obama thing. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
man, it was a good game. It was a
It
good game.
was definitely a good game, no doubt about that. And of
Yes, it was.
course, this coming weekend, it's game number 6 between the Detroit Lions and the Cowboys. And that's on
Another interesting game.
another interesting game. Hopefully, it will be a victorious game for us. So we will see. But it is game number 6, October 13th, this Sunday, and it starts at 3:25 p.m. in the afternoon. It will be broadcasted on Fox. So for those of you who are local, that's going to be on channel 67-1 if you're using an off the air antenna, and it'll be channel 6 if you're on Spectrum, which is cable TV. So that's where the game will be broadcasted. And as we mentioned, it was a great game number 5
Now
between.
remember, we didn't have Michael Parsons. We
I
didn't
know,
have several players.
I know, I know. And we still won the game, which was good. But the game ended the Cowboys 20 and the Steelers 17. And how did that happen? Well, we'll start
Yeah,
off.
do a recap.
We'll start with a recap of game number 5. And obviously, with 12:38 in the first quarter, Brandon Aubrey attempts a 55-yard field goal. And he does good. So that brings the score for the Cowboys leading by 3 and the Steelers 0. So then, of course, with 7:38 left in the first quarter, the Steelers attempt a 41-yard field goal, and it is good, bringing the tying score between the Cowboys and the Steelers 3-3. Of course, at this time there was still no panic mode, right? We were still good. I mean, we're still in the first quarter. So, with less than 3 seconds in the first quarter and a 3rd and 6, Dak Prescott unfortunately is sacked and he loses the ball, resulting in a turnover. So that was not good, right? You know, he lost the ball. But our boy, Brandon Aubrey, in the second quarter, with about 8:56 attempts a 33-yard field goal. And it is good. So it brings the score, the Cowboys 6 and the Steelers 3. So we were still feeling pretty good, right? But it was not to come to pass, obviously, the good news. With 51 seconds left in the second quarter, Dak Prescott attempts to throw a pass to CeeDee Lamb, and the ball is intercepted. That was not good. So that was a bummer, right? I mean, that was a bummer. We thought, how could
Very
this
much.
possibly happen? So, as the third quarter started with about 11:50 and they were at second and 11, the Steelers quarterback Fields throws a pass to number 83 Hayward and they score a touchdown. That brings the score to the Cowboys 6 and the Steelers 10. About this time, I was already worried, right? I thought, here we go. It's going to go downhill, you know. But we at 8:51, our boy Brandon Aubrey, I mean, we were like, okay, here we go. Here's a three-pointer, right? Well, it was a 38-yard field goal, but unfortunately it was blocked. But it was quickly recovered by Dallas. Thank God, you know. So they blocked his field goal and it was quickly recovered by Dallas. So that was a good thing, right? A little bit of a breather, but still a concern, right? Well, we roll into the fourth quarter with 13:51 and they're at second and 10. Dak Prescott scrambles and he throws a pass to Rico Dowdle, scoring a touchdown, making the Cowboys once again take the lead, bringing Dallas 13 to the Steelers 10. So that was a sigh of relief, right? We thought, oh, good.
Yes,
That
it
was a
was.
big sigh of relief. And of course, that victory was short lived with about 10:36 in the fourth quarter. And at a first and 10, Dak Prescott attempts to throw a pass to Jalen Tolbert, but the ball is intercepted. The second interception of the night. That was a bummer. My heart,
My
I
heart
think,
was
just,
racing.
I know, well, my heart stopped a beat. But, of course, with 4:56 still in the fourth quarter and second and goal, Fields hands the ball to Pat Freiermuth, number 88, and he scores a touchdown. So that takes the score Steelers 17 and the Cowboys 13. Of course, I was sweating by this part. I thought we're going to lose this one. We're going to lose this one. Well, with 30 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, Dak Prescott is at the 5-yard line. He hands the ball to Hunter Lupke, but Lupke loses the ball, but luckily Dak jumps in and recovers it, right? So that was a sigh of relief, right? A sigh of relief. So then, with 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and they're at fourth and goal, Dak Prescott throws a pass to Jalen Tolbert and scores the winning touchdown, bringing the final score Dallas 20 and the Steelers 17. It was definitely a nail biter. I stayed up for the entire game.
Yes, it was. I believe the NFL stated that that was the longest game that had lasted 2 days. Because remember, for Philadelphia time, it was already 2 in the morning
Right, because they had a bad
and a rain
thunderstorm.
delay.
Yep. So they didn't start the game till like 9:30. So it was definitely a long game and it probably was very tiring, by the time all was said and done. I mean, they're not used to playing that late. So it was definitely a win that was worth it for Dallas because they could have easily lost that game. You know, I don't think they were favored to win that game. You know,
They were not favored to win. I believe it was 55 to 40 something. All
right.
right.
Even though my
Percentage wise.
prediction was 50-50, right? So I was
Right.
still kind of right. But
On one of the sports announcers that used to be a former Dallas Cowboy head coach actually went with the other team.
really, Jimmy
And
Johnson,
no,
not Barry Switzer.
no, the other one.
Campo,
No, the other one.
Jason, you're kidding.
He
Oh,
said it on Sunday Night Football. He's like, hey, um, Pittsburgh. And I'm like, huh? And the
wow.
another announcer said, hold on now. You used, yeah, but, Pittsburgh favored to win, and I'm on a winning streak, right? With his picks. Well, there was only one pick for Dallas, and the rest of them were for Pittsburgh.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, that tells you everything.
Well, he ate his words, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it was
So,
definitely a good game. One
yes, it was.
One of the very few that I would have stayed up late for, that's for sure, because it was already past my bedtime, you know?
You see,
Yeah. All right. So, what's remaining for the regular season? Well, it's not so much remaining. We still have a long way to go.
yeah.
But obviously, week number 6 is very important for us this coming week. And like we mentioned, it is with the Detroit Lions. It will be broadcasted on Fox, and it is a home game. It is here in
What
Dallas.
is their record? Do you know?
It is 3-1. 3-1.
31?
And we're 3-2. So I'm not sure what that means overall, but yeah, they've got a pretty good record right now. And of course, week number 7's a bye week for the boys. They're going to get to rest a little bit. Hopefully, CeeDee Lamb and Dak will kiss and make up. You know, they've been at each other's throats far too long. I think they both need to
Well,
be seated back in the locker room and given the riot act, you know, and say, you guys got to get along. You guys are getting paid lots of money, so kiss and make up, you know, suck it up, buttercup, you know, so
that's what it should be.
that's the way it should be, you know. And so that's a good thing. But unfortunately, in week 8, we get to play the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know what their current record is.
Well, they're playing tonight.
They're playing tonight. Who are they playing?
I forgot. But they're playing tonight. I was on Prime.
Ah, okay. One of those. If you have Prime, you'll watch it, and if you don't, tough luck.
Uh-huh.
Well, that game, unfortunately, is in San Francisco at Levi's Stadium. It will not be a home game. It's
They
going to
are
be.
winning 23 to 17 against the Seahawks.
Ah, okay. So, so that game
And
is at
they're 2-3.
2-3. Oh, well, maybe it'll be good news for us after all. You know, we shouldn't lose, right? We shouldn't lose.
Dude, when we shouldn't lose, we lose.
I know, right? Well, that game is at 7:20 p.m. on October 27th. It will be broadcasted by NBC. So I really wish they were playing in Dallas, right? But oh well. I never get good vibes when they play in San Francisco. Even for back in the old days, I never got good vibes, you know.
But it's 1 week after the bye week, so
Yeah, right? They should be fully rested. I mean, they should be, you know, with their ears all perked up and ready to go. You know, all the ones out there on the injury list, they should be ready to get back, right?
yes.
So then week 9 brings, you know, the brings Dallas to Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's going to be November 3rd. Can you believe that we're almost in
Wow.
November, you know? Pretty soon we're going to be covering the Thanksgiving game. And of course, that's once again November 3rd. It is an away game, and that's at 12 p.m. Central Time. So if you're going to go to church that day, you need to go early because the game starts at 12. So,
Or you can go Saturday night.
or you can go Saturday night. That's right. You know, but definitely we can't miss the game opening that Sunday. All right. And who's on the injury list? Well, I'll be honest with you, there was not an updated list for week number 7. Is it week 8? I can't remember. But anyway, there was no week for the current week. There was no updated list for the current week. So unfortunately, I had to get the injury list from last week, but we'll still go
All
over
right.
it. All right. Marquise Bell, safety. He's out for with an undisclosed illness, whatever that is. Maybe COVID. Who knows? Deron Bland, cornerback. He's got a foot injury. And by the way, all of these have unspecified game status, so we don't know if they're going to play or not. Okay, hopefully they will. Kalen Carson, cornerback, he's got a shoulder injury. Trayvon Diggs, cornerback, an ankle injury. Tyler Guiton, tackle, he's got a knee injury. Eric Kendricks, linebacker, calf shoulder injury. Marist LeFou, linebacker, quad injury. Zach Martin, guard, he's on bed rest. Nick Vigil, linebacker, he's got a foot injury. And Micah Parsons, linebacker, he's got an ankle injury. So we don't know if Micah's going to be back or not. It's an unspecified. So these are the guys that are on the injury list right now. Like I said, it probably isn't an updated list, but there was no additional information on the health status of any of these guys. So as of right now, they're injured. So
All right.
all right. And of course, with regards to game number 6 between the Lions and the Cowboys, what is the history? Well, the last time these two played was back in December 30th of 2023. And at that time, Dallas won 20-19 for the Lions. So that's good news, right? And prior to that, they played on October 23rd, 2022. And once again, Dallas was victorious 24-6. In fact, they won all these games, by the way. So after that, before that, they played on November 17th, 2019. And Dallas won that game 35-27. And then prior to that, in 2018, on September 30th, Dallas beat the Lions 26-24. And then prior to that, they played on December 26, 2016. And once again, Dallas clobbered them 42-21. Now keep in mind that these are not the same teams that have been playing for the last 2 years, right?
I was just gonna say,
Yeah. I mean,
um,
it's a whole
uh,
different Lions team.
yes,
You know. So definitely this history doesn't really represent the current teams, right? I mean, maybe 2023 there's still guys, right, on both sides, right, that are probably there. But in reality, the Lions did very, very well last year. And so that's something to consider. But it's always good to look at the historical, even though it's meaningless, right? It really is meaningless because of trades and acquisitions and so forth. So, but it just kind of, we can go back in time and see how these teams have faced off against each other. I mean, the Lions aren't as big of a rivalry as the Steelers, right? Or Washington or whatever, right?
right.
But they're still a very formidable team, and they may be very formidable this year across the league. So, but that's the history between these two teams at this point. Luckily for Dallas, they've had more wins than losses against them over time. So, all right. So, what can we expect with regards to game number 6? Well, once again, the record for the Lions, they're 3-1, while the Cowboys are 3-2. Okay, not too far different in between. But unfortunately, the Lions are currently a 3-point favorite to win the game. So,
Where did you get that from?
just a few places here and there. I try to get a feel for all those analysts out there that are making these predictions. These didn't come from Vegas. In fact, I couldn't get any predictions from Vegas at this point. At least I didn't really attempt to find any, to be honest. But unfortunately, the Cowboys are only given a 40% shot at winning the game. Thus, they're considered the underdogs. And of course, the big question out there is, will Micah play despite his ankle injury? Will Micah play? And will that make a difference? Obviously, we won without him, right? But
Right.
I don't know. Well, there's Hash Brown. Micah,
I'm a
I mean,
visitor.
Micah. I mean, Hash Brown, what do you think? Will Micah play?
He says yes.
All right. Well, he better play. I'm not even sure if he's gotten a contract or not. Did he ever get a contract?
Oh,
I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. Dak and CD are gonna be playing until they get corns on their feet. That's for sure.
yep.
They have no excuse whatsoever for missing a single game. They literally have to be on life support, and even then, that may not be acceptable. So, but yeah, so definitely, we're considered the underdogs.
And this is at home.
This is at home. It's a home game.
And what concerns the end of the wild.
Of course, like I told you, it doesn't mean a whole lot. We've lost home games before.
Don't
So,
remind me.
you know. So hopefully they are on their A game this weekend. So, and of course, we'll be back. Um, hope hopefully you'll be able to join me on Sunday. We've got Starship launching on Sunday at 7 a.m.
Oh,
in the morning.
what? Well, it's 7 in the morning.
7 in the morning. They're going to attempt to launch Starship once again. It's integrated flight test number 5. The difference between this one and the last one is that this is going to include their attempt to land the booster back on the launch pad. And of course, there's probably going to be a lot of shakes and rattles because they claim that when the boosters, like for the Falcon 9, return back, that there's actually 2 to 3 sonic booms as it's coming back. So we may experience and feel those sonic booms here on their attempt to land that booster. The idea is for the Mechazilla arms to catch it. So that's the hope, right? But, the main concern obviously there is that, on the way down, hopefully there's not an explosion because obviously that would definitely set back any future launch
Right,
capability for
right.
at least a couple of months, right? They have completed building the launch pad B, which is right next to it. So at most, they would have a secondary launch pad. Hopefully, it doesn't get damaged, but it will be at 7 a.m. and we'll be covering it
Whoa.
live on Sunday. I don't think we're gonna have any after parties at this. Not sorry, after parties, but before parties. I'm not really sure. I depends how I feel like it. But
Mm,
we may be one of the very few covering it because a lot of the YouTubers out there were kind of caught off guard by Elon's decision to launch. It wasn't anticipated. The big thing was that they were going to launch in November, possibly December. But for whatever reason, they decided to launch, this weekend. Maybe it's because the election's coming up. God knows. But it's going to be exciting. If they're able to get that rocket into orbit, return it back just like they did the last time, and they can land that booster, that will get them 1 inch closer to having a fully operational Starship that will be used on commercial launches.
right.
So everyone will be broadcasting that live on YouTube, on Facebook, over all the 12 social media platforms we're on. So tune into that. If you want to catch the launch, you can go to the mobile app at brownsville.techlive.com. We'll have a link directly to the show, and you'll be able to watch it there as well. So without having to scramble. One of the things you want to be careful when it comes to covering launches now is the fact that when you go to YouTube, there's a lot of so-called podcasts out there that are broadcasting, or they trick people into thinking they're broadcasting the real thing. And what you end up finding out is they're AI generated shows to sell you cyber currency, cryptocurrency. I fell for it a few times. So you want to be very, very careful. So to avoid all that bad, situations with AI generated podcasts as well as crypto scams, just go to brownsvilletechlive.com. You'll have a direct feed and you won't have to worry about somebody trying to scam you or trying to sell you something you don't need. But
Very true. Very true.
YouTube has become very, very bad when it comes to that. Extremely bad. And you can easily fall. And you'll see it right away. You'll see them say, scan this QR code. And you're not scanning to see the launch. You're scanning to purchase cryptocurrency or what appears to be cryptocurrency. I mean, most people couldn't afford to buy a single cryptocurrency coin today. They're up in the 30, 40, $50,000 unless you got some money to burn, you know. So I don't have 30 or $40,000, and I sure as hell am not going to waste it on cryptocurrency. That's for sure.
To us.
You know, so all righty, everybody. Well, that was it for episode number 12. We will be back next week with episode 13, and we will have the highlights of Sunday's game. And we're going to be celebrating, right? We're going to be celebrating because we're going to win. We are going to win this weekend, and that will take us into the bye week. We'll have CD and Dak all rested up. They've had by that time they should have kissed and made up. Micah should be back from his ankle injury. If not, we'll have to send him a personal masseuse. And hopefully a few other guys from the injury list will be back as well. Ready to beat the crap out of the San Francisco 49ers on their own home turf.
Yes.
All righty, everybody. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. Steve, once again, as always, thank you.
You have a good night.
Have a good night, and go Cowboys. Bye-bye.
Bye.